I have some real concerns about what Kamala Harris is floating out there. You know, she said it once. I kind of brought it up. I showed it to you guys. And then she said it again. And so now I'm starting to ask the question, what does she mean by this? She keeps saying, we're going to deal with November. We're going to deal with November. What do you mean, lady? You're going to deal with November? What is she trying to tell us? What is being communicated here? I have some concerns. I want to play you a couple of clips and we can discuss them. By the way, thank you for being here. Welcome, everyone. It's good to have you. I hope that you subscribe and that you share and you tell everyone you're watching the Trish Regan show here live every single day. Let's go to Kamala Harris responding to somebody yelling out in the crowd while she's doing this little shindig with Maria Shriver and Liz Cheney, lock him up. Listen to what she says in response, and then we're going to hear a different version of it that she just told MSNBC.
You know, because some people find it humorous what he says and think it's just silly, but understand how brutally serious it is. Well, the courts will take care of that. We'll take care of November. Yes. We'll take care of November. But it is brutally serious because to the Congresswoman.
My question is, what does it mean? What does, quote, we will take care of November mean? I think back to how in August of 2020, Hillary Clinton started going on podcast, Jennifer Palmieri's, who used to work for her, and she gave the now infamous quote. I mean, I was just stunned by it, saying, no matter what, Joe Biden, my advice is no matter what, you hang on for dear life. If this is close, you hang on. And you're prepared for that. Well, what exactly are they preparing for? Because if you look at the polls, sure, it's close, but let's face it, Donald Trump doesn't poll that well. I have more on that coming up. I think actually this could be a landslide. So I don't understand what she's trying to communicate when she says we're going to deal with November. Here she is again saying something similar in an interview with Hallie Jackson on MSNBC last night. Take a listen.
We are sitting here 2 weeks away from election night. Last election, the former president came out on election night and declared victory before all the votes were counted. What is your plan if he does that again in 2 weeks?
Well, let me say this. We've got 2 weeks to go. And I'm very much grounded in the present in terms of the task at hand. And we will deal with election night and the days after as they come. And we have the resources and the expertise and the focus on that as well.
So you have teams ready to go? Is that what you're saying? Are you thinking about that as a possibility?
Of course. This is a person, Donald Trump, who tried to undo a free and fair election, who still denies the will of the people, who incited a violent mob to attack the United States Capitol, and 140 law enforcement officers were attacked. Some were killed. This is a serious matter.
Okay, we're going to go back to J6, the well of J6.
The American people are, at this point, 2 weeks out, being presented with a very, very serious decision about what will be the future of our country.
And so she's prepared to deal with it. We'll deal with November. What, if this doesn't go her way? I mean, come on. I mean, meanwhile, you get Joe Biden out there yelling, lock him up. Seriously. He sort of kind of corrects himself and says, politically. What are you people doing? Here we go. In New Hampshire.
It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up.
Politically lock him up? Lock him up? Lock him up? What? What's up, guys? Because last I checked, you got a few little problems. You got Letitia James, who wanted to lock him up and wanted to take everything he'd ever built and earned and owned. Letitia James is going down in flames, mind you, unless somehow the Democrats are able to do her a favor and get her the mayorship in New York City. Letitia James is about to have her case reversed. You have Jack Smith with egg on his face because of the Supreme Court. You get Alvin Bragg, who's not able to do a darn thing. And all of this stuff is getting tossed out. You see what happened with the documents and the Mar-a-Lago documents down in Florida. Yet, what are they talking about? Lock him up. We'll deal with November. I'm just asking. I mean, are they working on some kind of little coup again of their own? I mean, they pulled one, effectively. I mean, what do you think that is? You took Biden out. You put Kamala in because the polls were bad. Well, now we got more polls that are pretty bad. Nate Silver, out with a big warning. He's got a big article in the New York Times because he thinks Donald Trump's going to win. You know, the last time Nate Silver thought Donald Trump was going to win, what did they do? They took Joe Biden out of the race. So I'm asking, what's next? I mean, and then there's Trump saying he's not going to do this to them. No, because he actually believes in the Constitution in the United States of America. Here he is with Howie Kurtz. We've played this, but I want you to see it in context next to the likes of lock him up and we'll deal with November.
I think they're unethical, but who knows?
I want to drill down on this question of retribution because against your political opponents, because you've had opportunities to walk that back. And my question is this: are you prepared to say now that you will not use law enforcement to punish or prosecute your political opponents?
Excuse me. That's what they're using on me.
Okay, so you're
wait a minute. Before you start this.
Yeah, I got it.
Howie, that's what they're using on me. I've got DAs. I've got everybody. They look at me. There's never been anything like this. The biggest case was the one down in Florida, and I beat it 100%. I won the case because we had number one, a brilliant judge, and a judge that moved rather rapidly, and I won the case. By the way, Biden had almost the same case, but he didn't have the Presidential Records Act because he wasn't the president, just to finish. And he got off on the basis that he's incompetent essentially that he's incompetent. And it was a strange ruling because they said, number one, he's incompetent, so he's not going to be, but the prosecutor actually said he's guilty, but he's incompetent. But they didn't say he couldn't be president anymore. That was his bigger problem for not being president. How can you not represent yourself in court because you're incompetent, but you're allowed to represent the United States of America? The whole thing is crazy. But no, they have weaponized government against me.
But are you willing to use the same tactics?
No, I don't want to do that because that's a bad thing for the country. I don't want to do that. I don't know who said. I haven't said that I would, but they have done it. I've got attorney generals, DAs. They're all. Right. You take a look in Atlanta.
You're heavily investigated.
Yeah, they went and met with them. It's all coming out of the Justice Department. They have done something never done in this country before. Now, it's been done in a lot of other countries, third world countries, banana republics, but never done. So when you ask that question, you really have to start by saying, well, they've done it to you. No, I'm not looking to do it to them at all, because that is they have set a very bad precedent, however.
You talk about the enemy.
For sure. A really, really bad precedent. And they're doubling down on it in the days before the election with Kamala saying, we'll deal with November. We'll let the courts take care of that. I mean, the courts have taken care of it. And guess what? The courts keep coming back over and over and over again. He's innocent. I mean, look, can't say the same for Joe Biden's son. Joe got off from the Mar-a-Lago stuff only because he's so frail and incompetent and elderly. They couldn't even move forward because they knew no jury would actually believe that, he was capable of even remembering where any of the papers were. I mean, I'm sorry, people. This is really getting kind of alarming. So I don't know what you guys have up your sleeve, but I think we have to ask this question. Okay, this is the question you need to be asking right now. Is there a chance here, ladies and gentlemen, that Kamala Harris refuses to concede? Is she going to say something funny went down? Elon Musk did God knows what. I think you kind of got to be prepared for all scenarios right now. We're a little bit broken, dare I say. Just a little bit broken, which is, I sleep well at night because I got my gold. I'm telling you, in all seriousness, there's a lot of reasons to like gold right now, but you're going into this crazy, crazy time, and you're going to have one side of the country that's not very happy. Either way you slice it, by the way, either way you slice it. So another reason to like gold, we've been looking at new highs pretty frequently this year in gold. Part of that, I think, is because the Fed, of course, is moving with lower rates. Rob and I have talked about this over on 76 Research. I'm a longtime believer in gold, and I hope to hold it for many, many more years to come. You can get in on this too. You can also get some free silver in the process, up to $15,000 worth of free silver right now if you go to trishlovesgold.com. You can't forget trishlovesgold.com. Text Trish to 65532 today. You'll get more information on how you can get up to $15,000 in free silver. Just text Trish to 65532 or give them a ring. Call them at 1-844-495-1115. Use my name. They will take very good care of you. These are our friends at American Heart for Gold. Again, up to $15,000 in free silver, which is a pretty big deal.